What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and in this video we'll be talking about the big weapon balancing update which you know is coming to Destiny in December. So very soon this update should be arriving. It's going to buff and nerf, so make better and worse, a lot of weapons in Destiny, and I wanted to summarize the changes in this one video and talk about the grand scheme of things, what's going to be different. There's changes to weapons in PvE and PvP to the Crucible, and also specific exotic weapons too. So firstly, we've got the auto rifles. Bungie want them to be competitive against pulse rifles and more of a usable weapon in general. So they're going to be boosting the base damage slightly, and I think the Zalo Supercell is going to be one to watch out for. I think currently it's one of the best auto rifles in PvP right now, and I quite enjoy using it as it stands. I think it's very usable and quite a competitive weapon, but the medium fire rate auto rifles, which include the Zalo Supercell, are getting a damage boost by 7%, which I think is pretty big. So that weapon could be a new favorite in the Crucible and definitely one to look out for, like I said. Next up are the pulse rifles, without a doubt the most used weapon in Crucible right now, and they are getting a base damage reduction of 8 and 9% depending on the rate of fire, and so their range is also going to be reduced as well to hand cannon range. It's going to be interesting to see just how big of an effect that actually has, and whether the Red Death, for example, can still two-shot kill people to the head, whether Noah's Mercy is still as good, and the Hawksaw. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they're still as good, and they're also getting a slight tiny damage boost in PvE. The hand cannons are next, and these are getting a slight buff, and it's a tiny one. Their ADS accuracy is being improved, so they're going to kick a tiny bit less when you're aiming down sight with them. Next up are the shotguns, and these are getting hit pretty hard. So the range that you can basically do decent damage in is being reduced to blink strike range. If you're familiar with the Hunter blink strike attack, it's going to be essentially the same range as that. That is going to be the effective range for shotguns, and that's how far you'll be able to do decent damage with, and probably a one-shot with weapons like the Conspiracy Theory D. Anything beyond that range, and you're going to require multiple shots, which of course is quite punishing, and that's going to be added with these effects. They're also adding shotguns as well. So they're going to be slower to pull out and get ready. They're going to have more recoil when you fire them. They're going to have a slower reload. They're also going to aim down sight slower, and they're going to move slower when holding a shotgun. And finally, they're also going to increase the delay when sprinting, which I think is the most important thing. So when you're sprinting and when you're stop and shoot, they're going to add a small little delay there of a few frames. So that's a general across the board nerf to shotguns in every way. And then also in PvE, they're going to be made a slight bit better, and their damage is going to be boosted by a tiny bit. And honestly, I really do miss shotguns being effective in PvE. Like, I remember the Found Verdict from House of Wolves up until the Taken King. The Found Verdict used to just destroy mages in year one, and that was such an effective weapon to use. It would just shred through their defenses. But now the shotguns, none of them really feel like they do much damage at all in PvE, and the ones that do fire incredibly slowly. Like Conspiracy Theory D, it's got a lot of impact, but it just fires so slowly, it's pretty much useless. So hopefully that slight damage boost makes a little bit of a difference at least. Next up is the fusion rifles. These are being buffed a tiny bit, so their spread is going to be made a little bit tighter, and their charge rate on some of them is going to be a little bit faster. Then with the snipers, the main thing they're doing is fixing the Luck in the Chamber perk. That's the most notable thing. So Luck in the Chamber is only going to do bonus damage to the head, and that's pretty much useless now unless you're shooting a boss or a Sunbreaker. And I absolutely love that. I think it's a much needed change. I don't think those Irene snipers with Luck in the Chamber actually belong in PvP, and you shouldn't be able to just get a lucky shot to someone's foot and be able to one-shot kill them. It's happened to you way too many times, especially in trials. Someone will just shoot you in the foot and get a one-shot kill, and it can lose you the round, to be honest. So definitely a good thing that it's being removed. And now onto these specific exotic weapons. The first one is the First Curse. This is generally an awful weapon that is being made a lot better and might actually be usable in Crucible now. So the perk actually refills the mag and has better stability and aim assist and range. So general improvement with the First Curse perk, and they're also boosting the base range on it and the imprecation weapon in the quest that you have to use. So could be a little bit better. And then the Hawk Moon is getting its range reduced slightly, and also Luck in the Chamber damage is going to be reduced. So this could be the killing blow to the Hawk Moon, to be honest. It used to be incredible in year one, and it was my most used weapon. I used it literally all the time, and since the 2.0 patch in year 2, it just became average like it is right now. And then in December, it's going to be made a little bit worse. And then finally, the Chaperone is getting its damage reduced to the body, but its headshot damage is going to be increased. So it requires a really good accurate shot to be able to get headshots and be able to get really consistent kills, and it's going to be a little more skillful weapon than it is right now. And the Fabian strategy was also pretty awful. That thing is getting a big stability and reload improvement. And last but not least, the Sleeper Simulant is being increased of how much ammo it carries from 7 shots to 9 shots. So you get 2 more shots with this weapon, and it's very good that Bungie actually listened to what we said about Sleeper Simulant being pretty average, and now it's actually one of the better weapons to use. It's definitely a usable weapon right now, and now it's going to have even more shots. So definitely a good improvement to that weapon. weapon. And that is all of the changes that are being made. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts down below with what you think of these changes and whether you think some of them are necessary or unnecessary, or whether there are more weapons that you would like to see changed in some way. Let me know your thoughts about these changes in the comments below. Also drop a like rating on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.